Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Positive EV podcast. My name is Fracus the Third. Joining me is my co-host Steeno, and
Yo,
we've also got a special guest today. Who have we got today?
Oh my gosh, Shrood. Hello, everyone.
So, how have you been, Shrood?
Uh, Pretty good. Been pretty busy for past like a week, but I'm good now.
Nice man, nice man. Why don't uh, why don't you tell about yourself, and we'll start with the CS:GO side. See, how'd you start with CS:GO before we move into your other types of investments that you've gotten yourself into and your journey?
CSGO, yeah, some of my friends were the first people who introduced me to CS back in 2014. I went and bought the game for like $15. It was a crazy sum of money for me. I was like, bro, $15 for a game? And all I did was play arms race because I could not just understand why would you play competitive or arms race so cool. You get to shoot different guns in like this short span of time. I mean, it's pretty cool. And then I've played for like 2 years, got my account stolen.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I returned in 2016, I believe. Yeah, and started investing, I believe, in 2017 because my friends were started trading, and I was like, yeah, I might jump on it. But unfortunately, it was a late, really late time to join because 2018, 2017, no one really traded. Everyone knew how to trade, so you could not really get yourself a profitable trade. But so I decided to switch my focus to investing. So
yeah.
I did not know what it was like the most efficient way to deposit money. I did not know how to I don't know, I did not know what to buy, so I was just buying whatever.
Did you
And then, yeah,
start like
well,
myself? I just
no,
deposited money into Steam. I didn't know anything.
yeah, yeah, buying whatever, but at the same time, I knew that I should buy cases. At the time I had like $40. I had Op Asimov. I sold it to buy cases,
Yeah.
and my friends were like, "Why? It's not a play skin. You cannot play with your cases. Why would you buy that?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And then I sold my Operation Breakout cases for like dirt cheap.
Oh no.
Yeah, that
Is
was my first investing experience.
was it a big regret now? I think breakout cases you
Mm.
used to be able to get 1,000 for a key.
Oh, well, it's not that bad. I was buying them for like maybe 20 cents.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Yeah.
You got in on when they started to pick up popularity then.
Yeah, and then it's the funny story how we joined the server. I don't know. I was doing my own thing, so I was betting on CS:GO matches. I was on some different websites. I was just doing investing, watching CS:GO investment YouTube videos back when they were good. And yeah, and then I just discovered the subreddit just randomly, and I decided, I mean, why not join the server? Because this is literally my first ever Discord server, and I've never joined any other Discord server, and on the server that will be active. And
Okay.
so yeah, it's been more than a year ago, and I'm still here. So
Wow, I think you're also number one messenger on the server.
yeah,
I
for
think,
now, Stender's
yeah.
gonna overtake me soon.
Ah, yes, sandwich. Steno, have you got any questions for Shrood relating to CS?
favorite investment.
Favorite investment?
Ooh.
Uh, I'd say percentage-wise, it's gonna be Spectrum ones.
Heck yes.
I was
Nice.
shelling
Best.
for I was shelling for Spectrum once right when I joined the server, so a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
those are my favorite of all time.
absolutely, they've been a fantastic, profitable experience for me. I remember the recent update to be able to just buy them, and they just kept mooning. Managed to flip a bunch of them. They reached, what did they reach? A bit over $1 US recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to that and then they went back down, but they're on sale now, so
Yeah, just buy more.
Mhm. I unfortunately sold all of them. I was gonna rebuy them later, but they did not go
yeah.
back down.
uh, so, what have what do you do outside of CS investing? Um, what what's your? I know you do some finance stuff. What's your journey been so far?
Investment wise or just in general?
Uh, in general. So how did you get into like the finance world? I know you're big into that at the moment.
At the moment, yeah. I mean, it's not always been like that. I was all over the place in my middle school. I was like, uh, initially I was really good at math, but later in middle school I got really unlucky with the teachers and I started to hate math. And I started thinking, maybe I should be a doctor or something like that. But then I discovered that I hate biology as well, and chemistry. So I had to do something else. And then I moved on to creating websites, and I realized that it's really boring, and I cannot just sit there and write websites for, I don't know, 12 hours a day. And then I was like, I've always been interested in finance. I don't know, my mom has been really she's been doing the Excel personal finance stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been keeping track of finance. I was like, it's pretty interesting, and I've been really closely related to finance ever since I was born. My grandma told me a story when I was 3 years old. And, she went to the ATM with me. She withdrew some money. She was like, let's go buy you a toy. I was like, no, 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 put the money on the pile. I was 3 years old. Nothing has changed ever since.
Wow, so your mother's been a really really big inspiration for you, a really big
Yeah, my
drive.
mom and my grandma, they're pretty good with money, but, you know, I've gotten better, so I'm gonna teach them some things as well, maybe later.
Nice, man. That's awesome. So that was your leading decision to then get into the investing world was through the interest developed in childhood.
Yeah, and so in high school, yeah, it was in high school when I started writing websites, and I was at my peak, and I decided, nah, I should do something else. And I joined the program that was called Virtual Enterprise. So Virtual Enterprise is a 4-year program for high schoolers, where you go through 3 years of training. So you get to learn Excel, PowerPoint, all of that, all of the office stuff that you need in the business for administrative stuff and for running your finances. And fourth year, I was elected as a CFO of the company. So
Wow.
what a virtual enterprise company is. So, for example, we have a class of like 30 people,
Yeah.
and we are a company. So every single part of the company is real, except for the product and the money.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was elected the CFO, so I had two departments under me. I had HR and accounting.
Oh, HR.
Yeah, and we
Gotta love
had
playing with fake money though.
yeah, so I had like 8 people under me, so it was a pretty fun experience as well. And I got to present at the New York City's business plan competition. It was a written business plan and it was a presentation one. So
Yeah.
the presentation one, we made it to the next stage, but unfortunately we lost to better schools because there are a lot of private schools with cool kids. But my high school was not that good, but we had a really good teacher.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
yeah, and so that experience is really what motivated me um, to major in finance because the feeling when you're on the stage and you have I don't know like 300 people in front of you in this theater and the judges are actually billionaires from I don't know the CEOs of big companies, like, and you're the one who's responsible of this. That's
Yeah.
giving you such a good feeling that you're like, maybe I should do more of this.
Yeah. And there's a saying. I'm sure you've heard it. I don't know how many of our listeners have heard it, but to improve yourself, you surround yourself with better people. Surround yourself with millionaires and billionaires. That improves your all sorts of things about your life, from your work ethic. You learn whole bunches of things from the people you surround yourself with. Being able to
Yeah,
surround
that's
yourself
true.
with people that have basically made it and is just a great way to learn how they did it and how to make it themselves in future.
Yeah, and so it was later, I started college last year. I did not really know what I wanted to do. I was like, the only finance job that I knew was financial management, and so we have a society in our college called Finance and Economics Society,
Hmm.
and I decided to go for, I don't know, just join one of their programs. There are three of them. There's mentorship, there's financial analyst program, and there is investment banking program. So I decided to like, why not? Well, first of all, outsource pushed me to do it because he knows more about finance than me, 100%.
So, are you a mini outsourced now?
Um, Mini version of the mini version for now.
uh, he's pushed.
Yeah, and so
So you chose investment
I
banking.
it was later that I chose investment banking. So I went there and I spoke to the guy. It was a recruit. It was like a recruiting season for those programs. I was like, he- the guy asked me who I wanted to be in finance in general. I was like, yeah, I want to be financial manager. I was like, what? What is that? I was like, the only finance job that I knew they did not know. So I was like, yeah, I just want to do something related to finance. And they let me in for some reasons, probably
Yeah.
my past experience with virtual enterprise. And so, yeah, and that's been a really good experience. I got to learn more about finance because you actually get to learn about like deep, deep knowledge about finance in your third or fourth year of college. Well, mostly third.
Yeah.
And as a freshman, I cannot really waste time because recruiting starts really early. And well, I later realized that recruiting starts really early. And yeah, I just need to know as much as possible right now. But what else?
Uh,
Yeah, and then there is a workshop. So our society does workshops every week, and one of the workshops was financial careers. And there's a table that was showing different careers and skill sets that you need to have, and there's a line for investment banking. I was like, detail oriented, can work long hours. That's basically me. I'm like, I can grind a lot
Yeah.
for a long amount of time. So, why not? And it's only later that I realized how difficult it is how to break into investment banking. So I'm still struggling.
Yeah, that's a skill that not everybody has, is to be able to do that grind. Like, I know that I don't have that uh, for well most things in general. Like, it's really really hard to get down and grind like the way that I've seen you do.
Yeah. So, you know, when I was looking at different careers, my main factor is money.
Yeah.
The one that gets paid the most. But I I saw there's a forum called Wall Street Oasis, and there's a lot of literally threads of analysts, associates who are literally crying because the workload is so difficult. Um, and they like, I don't care if I get paid 200,000 a year straight out of college. I do not care. I just want to live.
Yeah.
But for me, it's I'm not really afraid. You
Nice.
know, it, I'm like I know what I'm signing up for. I know that I could work this amount of time, and maybe it's gonna be difficult psychologically. Maybe managing director is gonna be yelling at me. Maybe everyone's gonna hate me.
Have you started getting
But
wrinkles and grey hair yet?
I actually have wrinkles on my forehead.
The stress of investment banking has got to you already.
You gotta start doing the American Psycho skin regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't make that much money to buy all of the skincare products, but
Someday.
someday, yeah.
By then it'll be too late. Oh, Shrood will have lost all his hair. Got
Nah, my
all
hair is
grey.
still fine. Yeah, probably gonna turn gray.
Eventually. We all turn grey eventually. Those that don't just try and hide it. Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's really stressful. Can you imagine? Because like, 18, I'm gonna turn 19, right? And
Yeah.
I'm already doing stuff that people, I don't know, twice my age are doing. Well, not maybe twice, maybe like 5, 10 years older. And I'm doing it right now. It's like the switch from being a high schooler to being like a professional is so rapid that I cannot like, and I'm happy because in high school it's really limited. I could
Hmm.
not do anything. I mean, I would come to my counselor, and the counselor is the person who's like in charge of the classes and everything. and personally just help you. And I was like, can you just move me a year up or something? I can write all of your exams. Like I could do anything.
Yeah,
I just want to. I
you
just want
just
to
wanted to
leave.
do stuff. You're ready.
Yeah, I just
You
want
felt
to.
ready
Yeah, I
to
just wanted
go.
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And at college, I enter and I could do anything I want. Like actually, like literally anything I want.
Yeah.
And my success actually relies on me, not on anyone else, and it's great because I like taking responsibility. And if I mess up, it's gonna be my fault, not someone else's.
Taking that self accountability that lots of people don't. It's something that I've noticed a lot of people struggle with. Steeno, you may have noticed it yourself, is that some people really struggle to take accountability for their own decisions and actions as they go through life. Whereas you seem to
Yeah,
have picked,
definitely.
yeah, whereas you seem to have picked that up at quite an early age, the ability to want to take that responsibility and take the decisions into your own hands and make them your own, rather than having decisions guided more or just given to you by someone else.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Because, I keep saying the sky's the limit for me right now. If I fall down, it's gonna be my fault. If I don't know, become a billionaire in I don't know, a week, it's gonna be my problem as well.
Oh man, billionaire in a week challenge. Bet.
Billionaire speedrun.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
percent. How fast can you acquire a good portion of Amazon?
Yeah.
I've just seen a question pop up in the chat with your investing. So, on top of including your investment banking things that you've done, including CS, what's the worst investment you've ever done?
Um, the worst investment was investment my time in CS:GO websites when I was 15 instead of writing, and I mean not writing, reading.
so, so
Because
misuse of
because
time.
like yes, misuse of time. Yes, because I was like, I mean, I was really capable in high school. I mean, I'm still pretty capable. I mean, I'm spending far less time in studies than everyone else,
Yeah,
comparable. So, and if only I found out about investment banking earlier. I mean, I can now regret things now, but I still do. Maybe I should have spent more time preparing for my SAT because, I've spent probably the least amount of time preparing for the SAT. I mean, if anyone does not know, SAT is a standardized test that we have in America that decides which college you're gonna go to, pretty much.
yeah. So those
And
scores are what dictate which colleges will accept you. If you do well, you
yeah,
get
it's
to go
not.
to
I
your
mean,
better
it's
schools.
it's not always that. It's sometimes the extracurriculars that you do, your GPA in high school. I mean, my GPA was 4.0. I did not even try to maintain it. I mean, it was not difficult at all to maintain it, but I did not really do much in high school. It was really boring for me because it's way too easy. But my SAT, yeah, I mean, it was not a good high school.
Humble
Just
brag.
trust me. No, it's not a brag. I'm telling you, the high school was just horrible.
Yeah, there are
It
definitely
was
some
like,
schools which provide better education than others and more challenges than others.
yeah, and so I've probably, I knew a lot of people who were pretty good. I was in a circle of those 4.0s, and I've probably spent the least amount of time preparing for my SAT, which I regret now. But at that time, it's like, why would I grind it? Because SAT is actually a grind. So you have like a set, I don't know, 150 questions or 180 questions they have to answer, and they're all pretty similar.
Yeah,
And just your only way to like prosper there is if you grind. And I don't want to grind because that is really pointless. You do the same things over and over again. So I decided against it, which I regret now because my score is pretty low, but I still managed to land the best public business school in New York City.
yeah,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Missing New
But
York. Now living on Wall Street, investment banker for
yeah,
life.
it's not the best life. You don't really have a life.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I want to ask you about. Um, how have you noticed amongst your peers that you've made the sacrifice of social time commitments with your peers your age for social commitments and work with people that are older than you? Like at 18, you've got an absolutely incredible amount of time to work on your personal finances and wealth generation, and that's absolutely incredible. How like how have you noticed amongst people your age how that's affected you?
Right. So, it's been kind of easy since everything is online because um I started college last year. We're still remote, so I mean, we're gonna move into in-person studying the next semester this fall, but I've never been a really social person, which I should be now because, I've been networking with a lot of professionals lately, and I have to maintain my network, and I have to talk to people, and it's been really hard for me to even call someone because I don't like talking to people over the phone because, what am I gonna say? And my job right now, I'm doing accounts payable. I'm an intern, so one of my responsibilities is to call vendors and pay for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really helping me improve my social skills, talking to people. Even though, it's like a 2 minute call, it still does something because I talk to people, completely
Yeah.
random people who never met me before, and I still managed to get a conversation going, even though the conversation revolves around me paying them.
There's a surprising amount of jobs that develop your interpersonal skills. Hey, Steeno. So I'm a nurse. Like I have to talk to people I don't know about. I know nothing about these people, and I have to come up with conversations and talk with them. Uh, I, I'm sure Steeno feels the same way, having to see people he's never met before and have conversations with them and be able to keep them going in a normal, respectable fashion.
Yeah.
um, so, what
Yeah,
what
about
exa-
investment banking,
Yeah,
you asked me. So yeah, and what I want to mention as well is that um I'm not a really social person, and for me, maintaining my friend circle it was never been that much of a priority. I mean, I have like, I don't know, a few friends from high school that I still talk to, but they don't stand in the way of me just doing what I want to do, which I think is pretty good because um when you're doing something important for you, it is always that thing's gonna hurt your most vulnerable spot. So, for example, if I'm doing investment banking, well, I mean, I will be doing investment banking in the future. I will not be able to talk to my friends. I will not be able to talk to my family. I mean, I don't really care, honestly. I mean, family, yeah, but friends, I don't really have that many friends, and if they want to talk to me, they will talk to me at any time.
yeah. So, main, maintaining those friend groups. I mean, you tend to maintain the friend groups amongst here pretty okay. Uh, you you do really well at that. I know you're quite good friends with one of the previous guests, outsourced. Um, he has because he understands your situation. He understands what you
Oh,
do.
he said 11 hours a day. Sure, buddy, it's more like 16 in the office.
Six, yeah. How you find time to come and talk to us fools is interesting. If you're bad at it, oof.
Yeah, all right, buddy. You FaceTime, you have to stay there.
Oh, and best friends with Sandwich apparently.
You know,
No.
every person's got an angel and the devil on the shoulder, so I talk to everyone. And yeah, regarding IB, so I will be doing it for like 2 years. I will spend 4 years recruiting, talking to people just to work there for 2 years and leave.
Yeah.
Because investment banking is the best starting career, probably out of all of them, probably except for lawyer and doctor, but to be a lawyer and a doctor, you have to spend more time. But
Yeah.
where else can you make 150 grand if you're and when you're 21?
Teacher.
Fake
Yeah.
news.
Te- Absolutely. Easy peasy, 150 grand a year as a teacher.
Oh yeah, breaking him.
Or you do the cheat code of marry someone that's already wealthy. That's a good job. That helps pay.
Superstar athlete.
Yes.
I'm not a good athlete. It's not dependent on my performance. Well, it actually, well, it kind of is. Yes, it kind of depended on my performance, but you have to realize that 16 hours a day, no one works that much. No one works at like productive time. You don't have 16 hours of productive time. You have some downtime when you're waiting for your, I don't know, PowerPoints to be edited or something else. And what people have to realize that investment banking is a monkey job. You don't have to be smart to do it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Just,
All you do is, I don't know, like all the technical parts of investment banking could be learned in a week. It's again, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you know enough people, they're gonna give you a job.
yeah. So something I've just noticed from outsource that brings up a question for me is how do you tackle burnout in your job? I would like answers from both yourself and Steeno on this one. How do you tackle burnout in your position? What do you do to like ensure that you aren't burnt out?
Well, the thing is, well, I'm not a banker yet, so I can't really talk. Talk to me in like 3 years, but but I have been working pretty hard for I would say a last month of my last semester, so I'll say like around May.
Yep.
I was working really hard. I was like, I wake up, I had to work my main job, which is I work full time right now. Besides that, I had like 4 classes that I had to attend, and I was doing my investment banking stock pitch, well, not stock pitch, investment banking pitch book competition. It was only 2 teams, but still, I still had to do a lot of work. And I would wake up, I would work, I would attend my classes during work, and after work, I would sit for like 8 hours working on my presentation and research. So that was pretty tough. And about burnout, I'm a pretty irrational person myself, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just I'll go for a walk, for example, after I'm done with work. 8 hours of sitting, it's not that fun. I'll go for a walk and I'll just think, do I really want to do this? But at the same time, I'm thinking like, I've been in this program for 4 months and I've been working for a lot of time, and do I really want to quit this? It's gonna be so irrational, and I'll have to spend so much time to pick this back up. It's like, I'd rather work 16 hours a day for now.
Yeah. Well, what about yourself, Steeno? So you work a lot. You work full time. You've got a master's. What, like, you've done heaps in your life so far. What do you do to help people avoid burnout? And what are your tips for people?
I think the most important thing for me is just keeping work at work and not bringing it home. Sorry, my allergies are really messed up right now. But making sure that the two are defined spaces that you keep separate, because if you have a emotionally heavy job, if you go home and you take that with you, it's just going to interfere with everyday life.
Uh,
I mean, I get
I
summers off, which
agree.
is really nice. Like I can just, go home at the end of the school year and have a whole summer to do whatever I want. And that's awesome. But some people don't have that. So it's important to keep those two spheres of your life separate. And obviously there's people that can't do that. But like one of my biggest things is like you see other teachers bringing their, papers home to correct. Like if the job's not done yet, stay there, do it at work. Don't bring it home, and then you can come home and not have to worry about it. And then, like Shrood said, exercise is also probably one of the main avenues for me of just going outside, exercising, running, biking, whatever, anything like that.
Nice. So exercise, keeping work separate from your personal life, and having another hobby, another kind of a escape. Because I guess we're all connected through Counter Strike, of all things. You've got a nurse, a
Yeah.
teacher, and an investment banker, all connected through a video game.
Yeah, and the reason, well, not the reason, yeah, so as I mentioned before, investment banking is the best hiring job, but I would say like 90% of the analysts leave investment banking after 2 years. Because first of all, as Steeno mentioned before, it's not difficult, it's not a difficult job, it's emotionally difficult. And you don't want to bring this back home, even though, you come back home at 2 a.m., everyone's sleeping, but you're still pissed off because of your boss or whatever. And yeah, so and the reason I want to leave investment banking as well is because I mean I could probably manage it, but as time goes on, you have to I don't know have a wife, have kids, and investment banking is just unmanageable. You just cannot have a kid and a wife when you're in investment banking. I mean, as you move on, you become I don't know vice president, managing director. You work less hours, but it's still pretty difficult.
It's a very
So this is why
stressful
I want
job.
uh, yeah, it's stressful. It's not even difficult. It's just stressful. And yeah, so the reason why I want to move to private equity is because, yeah, as I mentioned before, with my switch from high school to college, I just want to have more responsibility. Because when you're in investment banking, for the first like I don't know 6, 8 years, you're not in charge of anything. You're actually a monkey. You're being assigned stuff. You I don't know, create a PowerPoint. You create an Excel spreadsheet, financial model. You send it to someone. You get yelled at. You get sent back the model with edit notes. You edit, send it back. People still do not care about it. You pass it back and forth for like 20 times. You come back home and cry.
Yeah.
And you do it over and over again for 365 days a week, for a year.
Wow, that's
Uh, and private equity is, well, it's pretty similar for, I'll say, the first 4 or 5 years as well. But you get to work less hours. And as time moves on, you're going to be actually in charge of finding the companies to acquire and growing them. You're going to be the person who is doing this. You'll be the person who will be going to client meetings. You'll be the person hunting for the companies that you want to grow and sell later. Not to say that you get some part of a carry, and the carry is like a percentage of for example, I talked to a manager director of one of the PE firms recently. So he said that his company bought another company. Well, not his company, his fund bought another company for 25 million and sold it for 500 million. And the difference is going to be split up between the people who work there, and some's going to go back to the fund. But like, if you're a director, if you're a vice president, can you imagine like a big chunk of that 500 million goes to you? Well,
yeah.
not a big chunk, but like for example, if 50 million goes back to you and there are like 10 principals or 10 managing directors or 10 partners, it's just gonna be like 5 million each. It's not that bad.
Not bad at all. Oh man. Curious. I see a question from Arceus. Just to put into context the sort of work that you're doing, how much does a bad investment banker make? So if you were to do your job just poorly, what sort of
Poorly.
money would you be making?
I'd say it depends where you're working because you could work at a small boutique bank. A boutique bank it is just a small bank. For example, I don't know, like 10 people.
Yeah.
Uh, a lead boutique bank is also a small bank, but that has a good reputation that everyone goes to. And a bulge bracket bank is your big banks, for example, JP Morgan, I don't know, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, what else? Goldman Sachs, BMO Capital Markets, all of those big banks.
Yeah. Nice.
Uh,
And so
yeah, so yeah, and so yeah, about salaries. So elite boutique banks are gonna net you the most because they're smaller, so you get to keep more money. So I'd say like
yeah.
maybe straight out of college, maybe 180, up to 180. Uh,
Wow. That is
bulge bracket. bulge bracket around maybe 130, 150. And small ones maybe 110 max.
And that's for where you are right now as intern, or is that just investment banker for in those next couple of years?
Yeah, so right now I'm in the process of recruiting for a small boutique bank, not a lead one, but just a small one that has, I don't know, maybe 10 people max. And I'm gonna be unpaid. Hope. Well, if they, I mean, it would be great if they pay me, but I really doubt that they will.
Wow.
Because, I don't really, all I need is exposure right now.
Yeah. Go
All I
work.
really need is, yeah, because, there's no way someone will hire me at a bulge breaking bank right now.
Go work at Frosty's
Because,
bank.
nah, he works at a lawyer firm, the law
Uh,
firm.
uh, I'm sure that I'm sure you've been working really hard with your connections and will be able to find somewhere with, especially with all this work that you've been putting in at such a young age. I'd assume you're one of the youngest people hanging around.
That is absolutely not true. I know a
Really?
guy who's done like 3 internships already. One with the PE funds and two with the investment banking, um, two with investment banks.
Really?
Yeah, and I kind of look up to him, even though he's a douchebag. I still kind of look up to him because, you know, I I realized that at bulge bracket banks, I will be competing against Ivy League kids. The best, the crop of the crop, the best of the best.
The
And
families that have connections already.
exactly, yeah. And what can I do against them? The only thing that's gonna make me stand out is my GPA, which is really good right now, and my internships. And I don't really have that many. I'm working full time now, but I'm accounts payable, so I don't have any deal exposure. So this is why I'm interning. I'm hoping to intern at some boutique bank to just gain some exposure to just, I don't know, to
And
dive deeper into investment banking world because everyone's talking about, yeah, investment banking, you do deals, but you don't exactly know what you're doing. And this is why I wanted to
want to
try
do
it
it.
out. Even though I'll be doing like some monkey job, some Excel spreadsheets and all of that, I will still see what others are doing, and I'll be able to express it through my interviews at bulge bracket banks, because they want to see people who know what they're doing. So, and if I come in there and say like, I've seen, well, I'm just gonna, you have to always lie, but you have to lie. You have to construct your lie so that they cannot check it. So I, for example, if some if I work at some investment banking, some small investment bank, it's a boutique one, and I say that, for example, oversaw or I don't know, assisted with some deal, even though I was just doing some Excel spreadsheets, no one's gonna check that, but they're gonna see and hear that, I've done something and that I have some deal exposure. And when I hit the desk at the bulge bracket, I don't know, for example, JP Morgan, I'm not gonna be a monkey just
Yeah.
not knowing what to do. But at the same time, it's really, really dumb that you have to know all of this stuff. Why? Because when you get the job or get the internship, you go through like maybe a month or 2 months of training. You get to you get to learn what you're going to be doing at the job. So why bother?
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, that the story of going through investment banking seems so incredibly tough. Just like I guess it would be almost on par with like doctor or lawyer with its level of difficulty. Just because of the amount you have to know so quickly and the amount of people you have to try and meet so quickly.
People are kind of confusing each other right now. I'm not working at the bank right now. I'm just an intern. I'm a prospect intern. I'm not even interning right now. I'm interning at the startup right now, but it's not a bank.
Yeah. Uh, there's another, I guess, IT and investment gentleman who's in the chat who said who's been in it a while. He's one of our local boomers. he he's already amazed at how much you already know how the game works. Which I
Have
mean,
to. I'm not making 150 grand a year, bro. I'm making minimal wage.
what minimum wage in New York is at least decent, right?
Gain.
15.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I'm getting money, so
Yeah, getting money to do a job that will hopefully and eventually pay out in the end. Oh, yeah. The commendable thing is how you're approaching this. You're 18 and you're nearly 19, and you're thinking 2 to 5 years ahead. That's absolutely incredible. Most 18-year-olds still can't think about anything other than what's happening for for the next meal, let alone
right, right.
let alone
So,
thinking that multi-year plan.
yeah, and I'm really t really the reason why I'm like this right now is because I'm really tired of being tossed around, you know? When you're
Mm.
a kid, you don't have a voice, you cannot do anything, you know? Your parents are in charge of you, and you know, your school teachers are in charge of you. Everyone else is in charge of you. You cannot do anything, you know? And when I turn 18 and I graduated from high school, you know, I could do whatever I want. You know, if I want to be an investment banker, so be it. I know I'm gonna spend like 50, I don't know, 100 hours a day
Oh,
doing this, you know?
yeah,
No, a day.
100 hours a day. God,
Yeah,
25 days, 8 days a week. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
exactly.
Always working.
Always working, you know? And if I can't do this, you know, there's nothing stopping me. So no, I mean, why not, you know?
Yeah, well, you've
Why
got the
would I
time.
why would I waste my time, I don't know, playing video games? I mean, I'm still doing that, but you know, at the same time I'm making some progress and I don't know, just trying to be a better person because you know it's you cannot just follow a conventional you know path of just going to college then getting a job because you'll never get anywhere except if you're
That's.
working in IT. But you know, not everyone can work in IT. Not everyone's it's talented.
I think that's a commendment to the different choices that people make throughout their lives. So a lot of people that there is something that is absolutely okay with working a 9 to 5, finding jobs that you enjoy and doing them. Like I've I've made my own sacrifices to become a nurse. I've made silly decisions. When I was 18, I was dumb as hell. Like, there's no doubting that anyone that knows me will know that at 18, I was dumb. I didn't start nursing till I was like 20, 21 years old. I just mucked around for a couple of years. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But it takes a different kind of mindset to take these really young years that you've got, well, you're still basically a teenager, and be able to do something with them that's affecting your life going forward. I'd argue that most people are dumb at 18 and don't know what they want to do, and that's okay. Like, not everyone is going to be as driven as you are, Shrood. I think if we put everyone on like your typical bell curve, you'd be the 1 to 2 standard deviations above in terms of how driven you are to do something.
Yeah, well, the problem is I've never had a well, you know, I'm really having a hard time socializing with people of my age because I have really been surrounded by people who are older than me, and over time, somewhat became a boomer myself. You know, I'm not really interested in the things what everyone's interested in. You know, I'm doing my own thing, and the, you know, it's a blessing, but at the same time, it's like I cannot even have friends because of this, you know? I'm grinding, yes, I'm doing my own thing, but at the same time, no one can really understand
you
me.
you've made the sacrifices that other people don't understand.
Right, because you know, when as you mentioned before, you know, kids of my age are dumb, you know? And yeah, they are dumb, but at the same time, I want to be, you know, socializing with them, you know, having something in common, but when they when I come up to them, you know, like I'm doing this investment bank, you know, I work this amount of hours, and they're like, yeah, why? You know, just buy yourself a car and I don't know, go around and do some dumb stuff, and I'm like, I've never been really interested in that. I've never got into a fight. I've never done anything illegal.
You're a good boy.
I've always been a yeah, yeah, I've always been a good kid, but
Yeah, and
good kid, good kid, but boring.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I 100% understand. Steeno, how were you when you were like 18? Did you sort of decide you wanted to be a teacher at the start, or how did you
I
go?
did it because it was easy.
Nice.
I don't know. Like for me, working with kids is pretty easy. Like it's just something that has always come natural. And so I was like, I don't really want to work too hard in college, which I mean, looking back, probably not the best decision, but it worked out well.
Yeah,
But it was just like, I don't know. If I do well in school and get a good GPA, like I'll have good prospects, and it worked out. But like, I just did it because it was easy. Like it was easy
yeah.
for me, I never once had to study for anything in college because the classes I was taking were very easy for me. So
I I think for those listening, this is a great example with the differences between Shrood and Steeno. Both of them are successful in their own ways, and they've both approached their lives differently. They both have their own happinesses that they drive from it. Both of them enjoy. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much Shrood enjoys it yet, but once he gets paid more, he'll probably enjoy it more. Here, they both enjoy the work that they do. They both enjoy the lives that they've got, and it's worked out. Steeno, like myself and Steeno, are a bit older than Shrood, and Shrood's got a little bit of a ways to go in the life building, but as far as career building, he's been doing fantastically. And those differences in like Steeno wishes he spent more time studying. Shrood may get to our ages and go, "Oh, I wish I spent more time hanging out with other people." We'll see what the future holds. It's a great way to see you don't no one has to do the exact same thing every single time to make a successful life. Success in life is determined by how you measure it. If you see having a wife, kids, going fishing every weekend as success, fantastic. If you see success as earning $200,000 a year, fantastic. It's all up to the individual of how they define success. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, that's really true. When you just think of what life is for you, like my parents really, they know that I can succeed in life. They never been like questioning my decisions. Like I said that I'm gonna do finance, like, so be it. Do finance, you know better. But at the same time, they want me to be rich. They want me to make, I don't know, a lot of money and not be lazy. But I've been a lazy kid my entire life. Well, except for like the last year because I've been working hard. But uh, yeah, and so I've been a lazy kid. The reason why is because I did not know what to do. Because, as I mentioned before, I'm a kid in high school who has literally no interest
Yeah.
because everything's so easy. Because, you come to high school, you get all hundreds, you come back home, you're not challenged. And and I started working hard now. Guess what they're saying? Why are you working so hard? You don't want to be you don't want to be working hard your entire life. And my answer is yes, I do want to work hard my entire life
Yeah.
because I am doing what I like. Like from Breaking Bad, though Walter said, I did it for me. I liked it, and I was good at it.
Yeah. And so you found that you've liked it, you're good at it, and you're gonna keep going at it. Nice.
Yes, because it's like grinding a video game, but in real life. If I could, I mean, like I've been grinding a lot of video games in the past, but this time I'm doing this in real life, and I actually see a result, and I see my life improve from this. Because like
Look
I,
back a year ago.
I'm like, yeah, a year ago I literally joined the server to troll, and yeah, now my life trolled me, and look where I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now circling back to CS:GO, uh, Steno, our positive EV, our EV capsule of the week. Would you like to run us through this, good sir?
Yeah, so today we have the Atlanta 2017 Challengers Hollow Foil. And if you look at that, you will see that the Optic Gaming foil is what the one driving up the price. It's like at 200 something. I closed it on accident. Let me reopen it quick. But the Optic Gaming foil is at 247, and
Wow.
that's probably what's driving it up the most.
95%.
But most of the foils, like 4 of the foils, are more than the capsule itself. And then you have 2 hollows, which are the G2 Esports and FaZe Clan hollows, that also boost the price up. So if you're gonna open something if you feel like opening something for 60 something dollars, this is your golden boot for today.
Golden boot. That's actually amazing to have something at 95% EV. Good job on the price swings. Good job on the keeping an eye on it. Well, I've posted a link into the Discord with the command for EV. Look at the capsule EV guide from Outsourced, and you'll be able to go through the capsule EV. So the expected value of opening every single capsule. So speaking of opening, we are currently now at the time to open our case of the week. Now, let me go through. Unfortunately, on Discord, we can't share video right now. So I am recording this, and this will go up live on YouTube. So let me just switch to the CS. And here we go. So today's case of the week. Shrood, what have you selected for us, my friend?
Right, I have selected a Prisma case because it's really undervalued right now. It did not get in the hype wave of the cases that jumped up in price. So I believe that it has a really good potential in the future. So
Prisma's
this
on
is
sale,
why it's the
baby.
case.
Time to go for gold. Let's get an Emperor or another Talon knife. Hey, all right. So opening the case right now and see what we get. And this will be posted. I'll post a little short clip of this live onto YouTube. And we have gotten the AK-47 Uncharted in factory new condition. Nice. That's actually not a bad open. Let's see, on Steam Community Market, that is a whole $1.80. It's better than the 20 cents we've been getting from all the previous capsules. Now, Man in Black is telling me to do something. I have an Atlanta 2017 Legends Hollow and Foil capsule.
Oh God, no. It's not the Legends though. It's the Challengers.
Oh, it's the Challengers. See, I've got the Legends one.
Let this be known. I saved him from spending that amount of money.
You almost got me there. Oh, rip. I have the wrong capsule. That's okay. So, Atlanta Challengers in Australian dollars, because I'm
Million Australian dollars.
So true.
It's currently at 90 Australian dollars.
Close.
Whoa.
That's like 40 cents.
Oh, quick! What's the positive EV for Legends? Steeno, quick.
Not good.
Not good. All right. So back to actually, what time are we at now? We're at 55 minutes already. Wow, this hour's absolutely flown by. Shrood, is there anything else you'd like to bring up regarding investment banking for people? Like how to get into it?
Don't.
You don't?
To not. I mean, honestly, investment banking is not for everyone. And investment banking, you could break it into investment banking as any major from any career. But you have to be really young to break into investment banking because they do not hire people who are older than 30 in general, unless you come from some similar career. Because the workload is real and they don't want to see people leave in a week because they cannot maintain 90 hours a week with their families. And if you're young, you don't have a family, you have nothing to lose, so you just grind there. and work as a monkey. And if you really want to break into investment banking, just reconsider your social life, reconsider your family, just in general, because they're not gonna see you for like a year.
Yeah.
And investment banking is imagine yourself sitting in PowerPoint and Excel for many, many hours a day. Like, I'm, s- I'm saying 16, but let's say 12 of real time
Yeah.
that you're actually working and not sitting there just to pretend that you're actually working. You get paid a lot. Yes, that's a good thing, but if you're a social person, if the one was, it's gonna be like really easy to compare. So, for example, if you had some pain when the lockdown started, right? Investment banking is not for you.
Yeah.
So, if you're a gamer, for example, right? Well, for example, I was a gamer. I'm still a gamer. And if you're like down to grinds, and if you're really interested in it, because I have a lot of gamer friends, and now a lot of friends from real life, and they grind a lot of video games. But when I mention, for them spending 16 hours a day playing some random game versus spending 16 hours a day doing something productive is like uncomparable.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you and it's boring. So if you don't like boring stuff, if you don't like
If you want excitement in your life, investment banking is not the way to
yeah,
go.
and if you're easy to break as well, because you're gonna be yelled at. Besides everything else, besides working long hours, besides doing some manual boring stuff, you're gonna be yelled at a lot, and your career could be at risk at any moment. Not
Mm.
because of not because of economic turbulence, not because of anything, just because of a managing director at any particular day, or I don't know, anyone at the firm. So, it's not for everyone. I chose it because, it's like becoming joining the army. Not everyone wants to join the army, but if you really want to join the army, you do it. Because, you join the army, you leave for like, I don't know, 2 to 4 years. No one sees you, no one hears you, but you're doing what you like.
Yeah.
And,
Do they like it?
you're yeah, yeah. But for example, I don't know, Navy SEALs, they don't want to go back to civilian life. They don't like it. They go back to war. They become mercenaries.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I'll compare it to becoming, I don't know, a soldier or a Navy SEAL. Because if you do, if you really like it, and if you don't want to do this, if you don't see that yourself doing it, you could always leave, but at the same time, you'll put all of those years to waste because it's not easy to break into investment banking. And once you do, if you leave, can you imagine 4 years to waste plus the time that you worked already?
Yeah. That's. It's almost like you can't just leave.
Oh, Men in Black ask, what are you actually doing in PowerPoint and Excel? Yeah, so PowerPoint, you create pitch decks. What a pitch deck is for example, like a 40 slides presentation that you explain, for example, merger and acquisition. So you you align different logos, you create a presentation using the data from for example Capital IQ, just import it in there, you create a table, you paste it in there, and then you just try to make it look good, and then it's going to be printed, it's going to be binded together, it's going to be given to the client, and the client's just going to flip it around and look, yeah, this merger and acquisition is pretty good.
Hmm.
And all of this while, for example, some of us will be presenting. And Excel, you do, for example, financial modeling, and you, for example, DCF, discounted cash flow, all of this. So, for example, prove to the client or to some other company that your merger and acquisition will be good. Because investment banks are pretty much just consultants, but with a different name.
Yeah.
They're a middleman. For example, what investment banking is one company or one just wealthy individual trying to acquire another company, and investment banking is in the middle.
Yeah.
So what, for example, you want to acquire, I don't know, the server, right? and the server
$20.
is a public yeah, for example, right?
Yeah.
The server is $20, right? And the server is a public company. What we do is, for example, you send I don't know, something. You talk to my managing director. My managing director, like, yeah, sure, we're gonna help you acquire the server, and we become the middleman who's gonna help you decide whether this purchase is gonna be good or not, whether it's gonna be net you more money in the future, and basic stuff like that. And it's not really that difficult because, as I mentioned before, it takes you a week or two to learn the technicals of the job. Your experience is gonna make it more accurate, but it's still gonna be pretty easy on a grand scale of things.
Yeah. Nice. That. That's a good little introduction to what I guess what you're doing with the PowerPoints and Excel through, and that's pretty much all the monkey work that you do throughout the day. Hey.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, as I mentioned before, Excel and PowerPoint, it does not require any intellectual work at all, except for the technical part of it. But all you do is literally align logos in PowerPoint. Yeah.
And they're too busy talking for deals to do the stuff themselves. Hence the internships.
Analysts do it as well. And so like your starting position as a monkey is a intern. You're like, I don't know, you're being tossed around like in high school. Then you're an analyst. You're being tossed around a little bit less. You toss around the interns. Then you become the associate. You have analysts and interns under you, so you're still a monkey doing monkey work, but you're doing less of it
Yeah.
work time wise. And then you move to vice president. You still don't really do any deals, but you go out to the client meetings more, and you're just being more exposed to the deal itself. And you still have all those people below you.
Yeah.
And then you become a managing director. The managing director is the person who carries the business because they're the people who bring the business in. So they go to client meetings, they call clients, they're always on a call, and you don't really bother that person.
Yeah.
Like they will give you a task, you better do it.
Yeah. Oh man.
And not everyone's going to be managing director
I mean, there can only be
because
one.
no, it's multiple.
Really?
Yeah, in the bank there are multiple managing directors, there are multiple vice presidents. It is just a title. It does not really mean much. You just do less market work and more rain-making work.
Yeah. Well, my friend Shrood, I think we've just ticked over an hour. I think we can wrap this podcast up here. It's been absolutely amazing to have you on. I gotta say,
Yeah, hopefully you learn something new.
Oh, mate, always. Every time I do one of these podcasts, I'm always learning from all my guests. It is fantastic to learn and share these experiences of investing with everybody, and I'm so grateful for yourself to be able to come on and talk about your experiences with us. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was really good. Really good questions in podcast chat, and yeah, the interaction in general is pretty good.
Well, thank you so much for coming, my man. I am going to stop the recording here. And thank you everyone for coming and tuning in to Positive EV, featuring myself, Steeno, and Shrood. Thank you all for coming. You can all come and listen on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Comment on the videos. Give it a thumbs up. Let's get some interaction going on the videos. Thank you all very much for coming. Share this all with your friends if you find stuff that's interesting that you want to share. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks again, Shrood.
Yeah, thank you a lot for inviting me in the first place.
No worries. See you guys later. Bye.